Good afternoon and welcome to Icutv Lunchtime News. We take a look at the stories making headlines. Police investigates fatal mob attack on suspected robbers in Nakonde. Mining activities ramps up in Gwembe district ahead of Southern Province Investment Expo. UPND encourages youths to pursue legal avenues in response to alleged insults against presidents. In our international news, Trump sends troops from California to Portland after court denies deployment. In our sports news, Chipolopolo arrives in Zanzibar ahead of World Cup Qualifier. With the news in details, my name is Anclear Banda. Authorities in Nakonde district, Muchinga province, have begun investigating the deaths of two unidentified men who were beaten and burned by a mob in the Sukwa area on the morning of October 4, 2025. In a statement, Zambia Police Assistant Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilambi confirmed that the incident took place between 9 hours and 10 hours. Mr. Chilambi says early reports suggest that the two men had hired a motorcycle rider from Nakonde Central Business District for a trip to Nakola village, roughly 20 kilometers away. He adds upon reaching their destination, the suspects allegedly robbed the rider at knife point and attempted to flee back towards Nakonde. Mr. Chilawi states that the rider, aided by fellow motorcyclists, pursued the suspects who were eventually caught near Chitamba and Sukwa village, where a mob assaulted them with hoes before setting them ablaze using petrol. Upon arriving at the scene, police found the severely burned bodies of two men aged approximately 25 to 30 with serious head injuries along the Mbala-Nakonde road and transported the remains to Nakonde District Hospital mortuary for identification and postmortem examination. Mr. Chilawi urges the public to refrain from taking the law into their own hands, stressing that mob justice obstructs legal investigations and violates principles for justice due to process.
Police have launched investigations into two cases of murder that occurred on October 4, 2025 between 09 and 10 hours in Sukwa area, Nakonde District, Muchinga Province. Brief facts are that Nakonde Police Station received a report from a concerned member of the public that two unidentified men were murdered by a mob and later set on fire. Preliminary investigations into the matter indicate that the two now deceased duo had hired a motorcycle rider from Nakonde Central Business District to Nakalola village about 20 kilometers away. Upon arrival, they allegedly robbed the rider of his motorcycle at knife point and then sped back to Nakonde, leaving him behind. The victim, with the help of other riders, pursued the suspects. They were later intercepted at Chitamba and Sukwa villages, where members of the public attacked and killed them using hoes before setting their bodies ablaze with petrol. The mob later fled the scene with the recovered motorbike. Police officers who visited the scene found two unidentified bodies aged between 25 and 30 lying along the Mbala-Nakonde road with deep head cuts and severe burns. The bodies are lying in Nakonde District Hospital mortuary. The Zambia Police Service urges members of the public to refrain from taking the law into their own hands, as acts of mob justice not only endanger lives but also
Gwembe district is experiencing a notable increase in mining investments as the Southern Province Investment Expo approaches. Feder Investments Company Limited has initiated a coal mining ventures in the area backed by a $3 million investment intended to stimulate economic growth within the region. At the same time, Alamo Investments has launched fluorite mining operations supported by a funding boost of 120 million kwacha. Welcoming these developments, Gwembe Town Council Chairperson Colette Love urged more investors to tap into the district's rich minerals resources. He also encourages collaboration with the local authorities at the upcoming Expo to build strategic alliances that promote long-term sustainable development.
Gwembe is hilly and valley. So because of that nature, we have a lot of minerals that are there. And it's good that this time there are mine investors who are coming in the district. So far, we have 4, those who are prominently here, inviting them to come and explore so that at least they can also get something. I know Gwembe has a lot, has potential of mining.
The district is very rich in terms of minerals. We have a lot of mineral deposits. These beautiful mountains are full of mineral deposits which are not tapped.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, has appealed to young people across Zambia to remain composed and address concerns through appropriate legal procedures, particularly in cases involving alleged insults directed to President Hakainde Hichilema. This follows the emergency of a viral video showing youths expressing frustrations towards a contractor who, despite reportedly receiving government contracts, has been openly criticizing the president. Speaking on the matter, UPND Media Director Mark Simuwe emphasizes that both the party and the government firmly oppose any form of violence or unlawful behavior in response to such issues. He urges the youth to lodge complaints with law enforcement authorities and allow the justice system to address such incidents appropriately. Mr. Simuwe also warns contractors against displaying what he described as double standards, arguing that it is contradictory for individuals benefiting from public funds to turn around and criticize the head of state or align themselves with opposition agendas. Reiterating President Hichilema's position, Mr. Simuwe notes that legal accountability applies to all citizens regardless of their political affiliations or social standings. Mr. Simuwe urges Zambians, especially the youths, to uphold peace, unity, rule of law, constructive and lawful civic engagement, emphasizing its importance in protecting democracy and maintaining national stability ahead of 2026 general elections.
We wish to put the record straight that the United Party for National Development, UPND, does not subscribe to the idea of its members taking the law in their own hands. We believe that we have institutions that have been established by law to enforce the law. And even when we believe that certain things are not going on well, the right procedure is to report to the relevant authorities. We do recognize the feeling of the youths where they are of the view that you cannot have a contractor at the same time, running a media house that insults the president on a daily basis and also benefiting from the very projects and opportunities that this person insults. The feeling is justified, but the action being undertaken is unjustified. On the basis that we have law enforcement agencies that are supposed to enforce the law. We are also cognizant of the fact that the president has been insulted by many people for no valid reasons. And obviously, I do recognize and sympathize with a number of youths, especially given the feelings that they have that, there seems to be no restraining efforts to see to it that the unwarranted attacks are not thrown on the head of state. We should further make it very clear that it's a clarion call on all the contractors that there is need for them to realize that when they undertake to construct activities that reflect projects for members of the public, they should obviously desist from playing double standards. On one side, they are attacking government for failing to provide opportunities. On the other hand, they are noticed to be beneficiaries. So this is what it gets to. But this does not in any way justify the activities being perpetrated by the youths. So we wish to call upon all the youths across the country to desist from taking the law in their own hands. And for
multiple road traffic accidents across Lusaka province on Saturday left several people injured, with major incidents reported in Chilanga and Chongwe district. In Chilanga, 3 vehicles were involved in a collision around 21:30 hours along Kafio Road. A Nissan abruptly rejoined traffic, cutting in front of a Mercedes-Benz, which lost control and collided head-to-head with a Pajero. 3 people sustained injuries and were rushed to UTH. Meanwhile, in Chongwe, a motorbike rider, Eustace Katali, was seriously injured after colliding with a car on Chalimbana Road. He remains under treatment at Chongwe District Hospital.
One person died while 9 others sustained serious injuries in separate road traffic accidents in Lusaka province on Saturday, October 4, 2025. Matero Police Station reported a fatal road traffic accident around 16 hours along 77th Road near Royal Blocks Company. The accident happened when 4 unsecured iron sheets fell off a moving Toyota Hilux registration number ALG 339 driven by Wilson Daka, age 44, and struck 2 cyclists. Wise Woa, age 23, sustained minor injuries, while Kalunga Eliud, age 28, was pronounced dead on arrival at the University Teaching Hospital. The driver is in police custody and will be charged with causing death by dangerous driving. Meanwhile, the body of the deceased is at the University Teaching Hospital mortuary awaiting a post-mortem examination. Later in the day, 2 passengers sustained serious injuries in a road traffic accident around 17 hours along Malambo Road near Zesco in Emersdale area. The accident involved a Toyota Vitz registration number BBD 3317 driven by Ernest Sampa, age 26, and a Toyota Alteza registration number BAT 6287 driven by Crispin Mutale, aged 28. Passengers on the Alteza, Miles Banda, aged 34, and Muliokela Mushala, aged 28, were rushed to Maina Soko Medical Facility. Preliminary investigations indicate that the Alteza collided head-on with the Vitz while attempting an improper overtaking maneuver, causing it to overturn into a drainage. In a related incident, a pedestrian identified as Boas Tondo, age 26, was hit by a Nissan hardbody, registration number AL6522, driven by Tedros Mritab, age 56, around 19 hours near Zamanita along Mumba Road in Lusaka. As a result, the victim sustained multiple injuries and is admitted to the University Teaching Hospital. Later in Matero, an unidentified male person, aged between 30 and 35, was struck by a Ford Ranger, registration number BAP 6838, driven by Max Nyango, age 47, around 20 hours. The victim sustained serious injuries and is admitted to Matero Level 1 Hospital. Meanwhile, Chilanga Police Station recorded a serious road traffic accident around 21:30 hours along Kafue Road near Waterworks involving 3 motor vehicles. A Nissan Fuga, registration number CAH 2166ZM, driven by Precious Mukanu, age 27, a Mercedes-Benz registration number BAC 1171, driven by Sepiso Oscar, age 18, and a Mitsubishi Pajero registration number ABM 5700. As a result, the Mitsubishi Pajero driver, Muchindu Novi, age 33, and passengers in Chimunya Milandu, aged 29, and McFarlane Simisamu, aged 29, sustained injuries and were admitted to the University Teaching Hospital. Preliminary investigations indicate that the Nissan Fuga, which was parked off the road, abruptly entered the main road and cut in front of the Mercedes-Benz, which had the right of way. The Mercedes-Benz driver lost control, swerving into the opposite lane and colliding head-on with the Mitsubishi Pajero. In Chongwe district, a motorbike rider identified as Eustace Katali, aged between 25 and 30, sustained serious injuries after colliding with a car around 22 hours along Charimbana Road. He is currently receiving treatment at Chongwe District Hospital. The Zambia Police Service urges all road users to drive cautiously, obey road traffic rules, and avoid reckless driving. We appeal to both motorists and pedestrians to prioritize safety to prevent further loss of life and injuries.
We now take a break. Coming up in international and sports news, Trump sends troops from California to Portland after court denies deployment. Chipolopolo arrives in Zanzibar ahead of World Cup qualifier.
Bami wamwene kukupa basofu ate gift ya wedding mwewe
kabampo kai honto kweswako
wei
swebo buti bajita kuti humbwa wa arwa kumumpa muso
ale
they give one zo
basa sunu tusegelela akupobola nguzu ya mwanesu musanko yulage mwana mujende tamtori ndira
honeymoon yansa yebo tuni kulya honeymoon ndete kuya kusaka ka kupange maloko mbo tuni kukhala amije kuno mudaro lo bagamba kuti utaka kuti nantaka mihimu lusaka ishindi mubwa kitabaga ndijite claustration bagandi sibe buya baga kuyema jana
iwe amani munganda mwana unkira mafia ngombe apa peni na da ngombe muno
Lucky do you know me? Do you know my wife? Have you seen my wife? Chiriku.
Urefu atoka ni mocha limpiayo.
Maybe I should go to doctors.
Bambira ma doctor ati wabora hipondo tu.
Ah.
Chikaringa byani bantu nawe chakaringa byani ko. Oh.
Chachiringo kumichiringanya pa mulesu wa mafuta.
Wow. I'm so impressed mura. Pesi ndari kwamba bakuti. Aya mahuta anunkira musimba. Imwe mwaga suba.
Thank you for staying with us. In international news, US President Donald Trump has sent troops from California to Oregon after a court denied his attempt to deploy the National Guard in Portland. The deployment circumvents a judge's order blocking the deployment by instead using National Guard soldiers already serving in Los Angeles. California government Gavin Newsom vowed to file a lawsuit over the move, which he called a breathtaking abuse of the law. While in Newsom, Governor J.B. Pritzker said Trump was also redeploying the Texas National Guard. Portland is the latest Democrat-led city targeted as part of the president's attempt to address what he says is out-of-control crime, aimed protests over the Trump administration's immigration enforcement. The Pentagon confirmed 200 members of the California National Guard had been reassigned to Portland to support U.S. immigration and customs enforcement and other federal personnel performing official duties. We take a short break. Stay tuned for sports news.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
Welcome back, and now in sports news. The first group players from the Zambian main national football team has arrived in Zanzibar ahead of their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match against Tanzania scheduled for Wednesday. The delegation, consisting of 11 locally based players and 2 foreign-based professionals, departed Lusaka via Ethiopian Airlines and have settled in at the Blue Ocean Resort. They are expected to be joined by the remaining squad members who are traveling directly from their respective international bases. Among those already on the ground are midfielder Emmanuel Banda and Kings Kangwa, along with Joseph Sabobo Banda. The team touched down at Abeid Amani Karume International Airport, where they were received by Zambia's Deputy High Commissioner to Tanzania, Anthony Walia, along with embassy staff. Zambia will face Tanzania in the Group E qualifier at Amani Stadium on Wednesday, with kickoff set for 22 hours local time. That sports item brings us to the end of the lunchtime news. But before we go, a quick recap of the stories making headlines. Police investigates fatal mob attack on suspected robbers in Nakonde. Mining activity ramps up in Gwembe district ahead of Southern Province Investment Expo. UPND encourages youths to pursue legal avenue in response to alleged insults against president. International news: Trump sends troops from California to Portland after court denies deployment. In our sports news, Chipolopolo arrives in Zanzibar ahead of World Cup qualifier.